Hello everybody, I hope कि आप सब बहुत अच्छे होंगे. Welcome to RSlive. Today I have a very important guest with us and जिनसे हम लोग बहुत सारे सवाल पूछने वाले हैं. Mr. Venkit Mola, he is from the Jakson Infra. So sir, welcome to our channel.
Thank you so much. So this is Venkit Mola. I have almost more than 35 years of experience in the power infrastructure and leading an EPC companies for last several years. And Jakson as a group has been a phenomenal expansion. We are the energy infrastructure company. It's about 6,000 crores at a group turnover, and it's AA plus rated. It's a credibility in terms of credentials, and it has a wide portfolio of opportunities. Okay. While the company has started 77 years ago, and it's been in existence, and it's always focusing on the energy sector and the infrastructure sector. So I would say that, we have 5 business verticals in the distributed power, the infra, and then we have the solar EPC, which is broadly done under the Jakson Green. And then we have a module manufacturing and even the backward integration to the cell manufacturing, and we have the biofuels. So out of these all verticals, infra is an interesting area for us, and it is a business unit of Jakson Group where Infra has been focusing in terms of various infrastructure sector opportunities. Starting from power transmission and distribution is one segment for us. The other one is for the urban infrastructure. We have a metro business unit, and then we have the civil, which we are also working on. And the next one is water infrastructure. So all the 3 segments of the businesses have been expanding, and the greatest amount of opportunity which is there for us for the next 5 years. You can say, how to say that, the government even the plan today, we haven't seen in the last 20 years the kind of an opportunity that is going to be there for the next 5 years for us. So I think the investments the government of India is going to make close to 50 to 60 lakh crores in the next 5 years in building up the entire country's infrastructure. You know that the growth of infrastructure is directly linked to the GDP growth for the country, in that sense. I think this is a exciting moment for us, and we are, investing a lot in terms of capability building. We have the legacy of 15 years purely on the infrastructure side of the business. We started off while, in almost like a 2010, and then today we have done extensively the projects in all the business segments that we have, starting from the power distribution, transmission, metro electrification, and then civil, and then water.
Okay. So we have our next question, which is again for what is the opportunity you are seeing in the infrastructure as a key player of the infrastructure? What is the next opportunity you are seeing for next decade?
I think if I have to come each business wise in a power transmission and distribution, you probably know that the government of India has agreed to invest a lot in terms of power distribution networks, which means revamping and modernizing the distribution sector as such. And it's about 3 lakh crores that has been sanctioned almost about in 22, and to be spent in the subsequent 4 to 5 years time as such. So there is a journey for us, and we have been a leading player in the power distribution, and we have done close to about 5,000 crores of projects across various states in the country as such. I think this is what connects complete the distribution across the districts, villages, and then cities. And it's something which is government have been working on about bringing the reliability to the networks as such. I think that's a bigger opportunity. We can clearly see in the next 5 years, a segment of the business is about 60,000 to 70,000 crore is an opportunity pie for us. That's distribution alone. But if you really look at the power transmission, the market size for the next 5 years is going to be massively big. If you see that, first time in my 30 years of career, I've seen the government of India declaring their entire transmission plan. That is from 24 to 32, 8 years of plan. If you really see the way the infrastructure boost which is coming in, particularly on the transmission, it is to ensure that green energy corridors are being built in the country. And there are various phases of green energy corridors today, and we are almost come to the phase 3, phase 4 of the green energy corridors as such. This all requires a huge amount of substations and transmission networks at a high voltage level, these are all interstate networks. In addition to that, the government has also encouraged, particularly in the interstate transmission networks, a competitive bidding under the TBCB, tariff-based competitive bidding, where one can design and build and invest in it and then recover for the next 35 years, like as such. That's all about the transmission side. So I come to the civil infrastructure side. I would say talk about the metro infrastructure side. I think that the number of metros that we have and the kind of an expansion being talked about, we are going to get close to 30 cities covered. And the kind of metro network today that you find is close to about 800 kilometers. And by 2030, we are going to see that is going to be 2,000 kilometers plus. Yes, sir. All these network expansions or creation of new metro networks calls for huge amount of facility where entire electrification works are required to be done. I think we are forefront to do that. We have already done several metro stations, close to about 200 metro stations, electrification work that we have already done. So therefore, we are in a position to take a leap of faith in terms of progressing in the metro segments as well.
So our next question is related to the metro sector, and this seems like you are the expert on that. With the metro expansion is full swing, how is the Jakson Infra ensuring efficiency and suitable metro solutions?
See, Jakson is known for efficiency and reliability. I think our capability is uniquely placed in designing innovative solutions and providing execution excellence. And I think it's important to see that the projects are delivered on time. I think Jakson Infra has been able to build such a strong reputation in every market segment, and we are working across all 4 to 5 major metros in major cities as such. Mumbai, we are doing 2 projects, and Bangalore, we are doing 2 projects. We recently won Chennai Metro, and we are doing for Calcutta Metro 2 projects, all electrification works as such. So I would say that this is something, an exciting opportunity for us, and we see that the market growth opportunities are tremendous for the next 5 years.
Okay, coming to that urban infra, the metro. As you said, there are many cities in the lineup where we can see the metro line. What next apart from the metro?
I think there are 2 things which are going to happen in a phased manner.
Yeah.
The metro networks have to be connected to the other networks. So I think connecting to the other networks is an important phase 2 action of the government of India, where you have the local networks which are being there. You have to connect that. You have the express trains coming on the Vande Bharat, and the rapid metro is coming in. I think interconnectivity is a major important area to be making all these investments extremely successful. I think that is what we can really see. This would mean that the markets are getting to go and open up for various segments within the metro system.
What we call the multimodal transport. Yes, this is the need of our absolutely. We are way behind. If we don't connect the models, all the models available in India, that will create a cost, and we have seen that. There's a few other cities also they have focusing on, like Gujarat is one of them. You have seen that the bullet train and the metros and everything is combined now, correct? What we call the multimodal transport hub. So yes, this is the way right point to do so. Moving to our next question, which is way related to this technology based on electrification. So what is the biggest technology and challenge you're seeing in the metro electrification?
I think I would say that there is a absolute room for bringing up the technologies in this space. And the challenge in terms of, executing the projects are a little different. In fact, I presented a paper, the kind of EPC opportunities and challenges in a contractor's perspective in the recently done India Rail the conferences. I think there are, 5 elements, if I have to say that, what makes the challenges will become easy. And the ideal way that you structure the contracts in a such way that there is, number 1, you need to have a good clarity in terms of reference and terms and conditions. Number 2, the access to the land, which means that you have land already available for the metro networks. And as you go on contracting, it's a lot more easy to execute as such. I think this has been well talked in the India Metro conference as such. Some of the bankers who represented there has been highlighting on this aspect as such. Second is building the sustainable solutions. So everywhere the efficiency, reliability and sustainability should be the focus into providing the specification in the contracting side of it. I think that will be extremely helpful. The third one is that the contracts typically goes in a fixed price contracts. I think these are the long duration projects running to 2 or 3 years as such. There has to be a certain level of provisions for price escalations, material cost escalations as such. There are best practices available in the country and one can adapt to this. So I think that will be another way that we can help on that. The fourth one is the coordination. I think in a metro network particularly, there are multiple stakeholders, and ensure that there has been a common platform of communication, whether it's a digital platform or otherwise, is something which is useful, where various stakeholders will get together and ensure that issues are resolved, the speed of the project execution part of it. I think these are the key things that I would see as an opportunity here. I can promise you that particularly here, the project that can be done if you have the well-structured contract in the entire metro network, and the project which takes about 24 months, I can finish in 18 months.
Wow. I'm totally agree on that, because we have seen the project is happening. Moving to the high speed, right? The next phase of the metro is, of course, the semi-train, which we already seen, and then the high speed, where you can see the opportunity for the India for the high speed and semi-high speed.
Yeah, I think it's wonderful to see that the clear direction from the government of India about high-speed rail networks. I think it's definitely a phase 2 or phase 3 opportunity for us. While examples are already built in the high-speed side, whether it's a high-speed or a bullet, I think is going to be sustainable, particularly where it is just not today what is required for the connectivity perspective, connecting the major cities. Now from the major cities to tied to tier 3 kind of cities also should have to be connected as such. I think with that we can see that there is a huge opportunity for everybody to think about the high-speed network as we go forward.
Can you highlight us some of the major projects which we have Jakson Infra have done and their impact on our country and ensure?
I think talking about the metro side, as I indicated to you that we have done for a Mumbai metro, probably we have done close to about 30 major stations, entire electrification works for that. So in a typical electrification work, what we cover is that entire power distribution and also provide the air conditioning, cooling, and then safety in terms of entire firefighting system for a station as such. And we have done that for elevated station, and we are doing for that for the underground stations as such.
Okay.
So I think that's the area where we see is a huge value that we can bring, but just not the metro of Mumbai. We have in a similar way done for the Bangalore metro. We have done the 32 station and 2 depots, entire electrification works. And then last week, we have been able to get another 30 stations in Bangalore.
Wow.
To get the expansion of that as well as such. So that's a wonderful thing. Next project opportunity which last quarter we've been able to get is the Chennai metro, where we have 10 elevator stations, 6 underground stations, all put together into a single package. Once again, we have been able to win it. We put already the project into execution mode on that front. And similarly, we worked on the Kolkata metro. We have done for electrification for a phase 1 there, and currently we are executing the phase 2 of that as such. I think we have been able to cover quite well in various metro networks, and I would say that we are seriously looking at expanding this market very clearly for us, not only for the electrical, but also to look at doing a civil side of it. In a station, you are building, you have the access to the building, then only you'll be able to do the electrical part of it. We will be able to combine these two, and we are looking at those opportunities to do that. And recently we have done that for the MMRDA, We have done a complete integrated power solution where power receiving station as well and the traction stations, and then supplying the power from that traction stations to each metro station and the entire distribution of that, and then electrifying the metro stations as well. This is an integrated package that I think that is what we are looking at in the future, and this will make the whole opportunity pie for Jakson Infra manyfold.
Wow. So, sir, moving to the next question, which is on the water infra. Where you see as a country or as a key player of this infrastructure world, where you see us as a country, we are going ahead with the water infra, because there is a huge potential if you talk about the water infrastructure. Absolutely. So I just want to know the expert advice, your advice, what we have to see or where we can see on our water infrastructure.
I think in the last decade, fundamentally, the water is being looked into an essential need, drinking water.
Yeah.
I think the government of India has brought a huge thrust to create water infrastructure in a such way that every household get the water supply. So this is what called Jal Jeevan Nigam.
Yes.
So JJM has been a phenomenal success for the country, and as I mentioned earlier, that the project that we have started doing on close to 20 million people are getting the drinking water there as such.
Wow.
And it has been expanded a lot. UP, Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, and Rajasthan, and several other parts of the country as such. Today, we can very clearly see is that the Jal Jeevan Nigam, the scheme has been extended up to 2028, from 24 to 28 as such. So I think this is the current budget. So I see that's very, very positive, and whoever has not been able to complete their schemes, I'm talking about sanctioned schemes, already sanctioned schemes, they'll be able to really do that pretty bad.
As you are talking about the state, which where do we have to implement the facility which central government is offering, and which is the rights of the every Indians drink of pure water. Yeah, and this is the where the government is also focusing, and you are the one of the key player who's helping the government, who is helping the Indian to provide that solution. Where we have inform all our audience that we are going to have a podcast with you, and there they can ask the question from the username Ashish D, and he's a project engineer, and he's wanted to know the looking at the Indian growth with the respective data center. How do you think our current generation or grid network support the energy demand? And this is the demand for the the time where we can have our own data center. The chat GTP and all the things that the AI market is going very high, so we can have our own data center, which he's trying to say.
See, there are data centers need 200% reliable power.
Okay.
So it's extremely important for a data center to have. If you really see, the way that we look at data center powering up is to multiple sources of power would be coming to the center to ensure that more than 100% reliability for assets. Having said that, I think today the data centers are looking for clearly renewable energy in which they'll be able to use that 24/7 basis, which means that data centers are an opportunity to look at a lot of hybrid solutions as such, and all that power not be producing at the point of consumption. So you'll be taking the power from elsewhere, this renewable energy, and consuming at the data center. What is the vital critical support that a center would be requiring is the very reliable system that need to be built from a high voltage to the medium voltage or a low voltage, and ensure a continuous supply of the power. I think I would say that we have pioneered building up power solution for the data centers way back in 2012 as such. So I think this is a very exciting area. Having said that, I think today the data center users are being able to use renewable energy and also the reliable power supply from the state grids as such. So that is how one can think and plan for the data centers.
Okay. And moving to our last question, what is the Jakson Infra long-term vision for the India infrastructure growth?
I think space that we talked about, particularly in 3 business segments: power transmission, distribution, and urban infrastructure, where you have the metro networks, and we see the water and civil. They're all exciting growth path for us. I think I would like to say that, what we are, building the infrastructure, actually this is leading to building the whole building for the country as such. I think our vision is very clear that we would expand in these core areas that we have already identified, and the abundant market opportunity. What we bring is again the solutions. They're sustainable solutions and innovative solutions, and we have a huge amount of execution excellence. I think with these combinations, we can propel and see a greater growth for the Jakson Infra in the coming days.
Thank you so much, sir. And thank you so much for coming to our channel and introducing about your company, your journey, and the solution which you are offering to the nation. This is trust me, this is one of the most, the demanding sector which you are working, the power. This is the essential for all the people. This connect everyone, that modern infrastructure, the water, the power grid. So thank you so much for all the works you are doing to build this nation, to build our country, which we all love so much. So thank you so much, and thank you so much for the coming on RSlive.
Pleasure interacting with you. It's been wonderful to have you, and appreciate this opportunity.
Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. And thank you.